React Navigation is a routing library for React Native. Today we're going to have a look at how to implement their new functionality and features through their new dynamic based component API that's come in version 5. We'll start by creating a new application in React Native. This is now done by calling npx react-native init and the name of your project. If you haven't got React Native installed for your computer, please have a look at the Facebook React Native website and they'll give you some information on how to get started. In my example, I live in Australia, so I'm going to create an application called Bushfire Front. Let's run that now. While that's running in the background, let's open up Android Studio and open up an emulator of our Android device. Now that that's done, let's start the React Native application by running npx space react native space run-android. And there we go, the application has launched inside our emulator. Next, we'll install the React Navigation library as well as its dependencies, which can be found on their website. I'm just going to combine them all into one command. Finally, for iOS and Android, you will need to take a few extra steps to make sure that the library is fully installed. I'm just going to do the Android section now, but if you want more information, have a look at the website for the iOS section. I'm running Android, so I'm going to add these two lines into the android/app/build.grendel. Then place them in the dependencies section, which is found below. I'm also going to add these few lines into the main activity.java. If you don't know where this file is, it's hidden under android/app/src/main and the full domain path of your application. Here we'll copy the first three imports and remove the plus signs. Here we'll copy this entire override section and place it inside the public class and remove the plus signs. That's done. Finally, we'll add the React Native gesture handler. This library needs to be at the very start of your application, so we're going to add it into the index file. Let's create a new path for our application. Let's create a folder called src, and let's create an application file called app.js. If you're running Visual Studio, I would recommend installing React Native tools and React Native snippets, as this makes life easier when creating new components. Here, we'll create a new component using the new plugin by running rnc. This syntax will autocomplete a full React Native component ready to go. Next, we'll want to open up our index.js file, and we'll point the application to the new src location. When we reload the application, it should automatically update the changes. Now we can begin actually using React Navigation. Let's import the navigation native container from the React Navigation library and prepare our application. First up, we're going to create a basic stack navigator. We're going to do this by first installing the stack navigator module from React Navigation. So to create a stack navigator, we're going to import the stack navigator into the application. Then we're going to create a basic home screen. And we're going to add the stack navigator into the navigator container we created earlier. Since we've installed a new dependency, we'll have to rerun the npx react native run android command. We'll also have to add the createStackNavigator function to create the stack components that we'll use. So we've had our first bug. In the documentation, it doesn't say that you need to add a library called maskView, but there does seem to be a dependency for it. Let's install it now and try to continue on. That seems to have fixed it. Now if we have a look, we've got a stack container with a stack navigator. And inside that is a stack screen. The stack screen is pointing to the home component, and the name of that screen is home. Let's create another component called details screen and import that into our application. We'll add the screen into the stack as well. Finally, let's use a prop to change the title of the home screen. In this case, I'm going to use the prop options and assign the title variable as Bushfire Front, and that should automatically update. There we go. On the web, you would normally get to different pages by using an A tag or using a JavaScript window.location.href to get to that screen. In React Navigation, a very similar JavaScript function takes you to different pages. In this example, we're going to import a button from React Native, and we're going to use that button to call the function that'll take us to another page. Let's add a title for our button. We're also going to access the navigation prop, which gets passed down from its parent. And here we can see that the screens are now swapping between home screen and the detail screen. You can also use the navigation prop to go back pages or even navigate to new pages or stack pages on top of themselves. Let's create a back button on the detail screen and see if that works. Beautiful. It's very popular for applications to have a bottom tab navigator. React Navigation provides this through two different options, which include createBottomTabNavigator and createMaterialBottomTabNavigator. To create a bottom tab navigator, we're going to have to install its dependency first. There we go. Then we need to import it and call it as a function in order to have access to it. In this case, let's change the previous navigator we had of the screen stack to a tab navigator. There we go. Let's reload our application since we just installed a new dependency, and let's have a look at the changes we've just made. Now, let me just move my head out of the way so that you can see the changes. Beautiful. Now we have two screens on a tab navigator which both work. I believe you still might use the buttons to swap between screens as well. Finally, let's have a look at some of those new features and functionality that React Navigation now delivers. Let's create a pretend state of profile false, and let's toggle this state with a button in the header. This toggle will create a new tab screen at the bottom of our profile as if a user has logged in, and will make it disappear once the user has logged off. Let's test it now. And there it is. And now it's gone. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that this has brought you some more information about how React Navigation 5 works in practice. If you did like this video and want more like it, please subscribe and leave a like, as this tells me what kind of content you guys want to see. Thank you.